Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks. In this channel, we generally discuss about public cloud design problem statements and their related solutions. Today, we are going to discuss about Azure Well-Architected Framework. Now, before that, let's try to understand what is the problem statement. How to design cloud native solutions in a well-architected way. That means what is a well-architected way that we are going to cover. But before that, let's try to understand what is a solution designing or solution architecting. Now let's think about larger enterprises or smaller enterprises. Every enterprise starts with a business, and those business who creates the requirements or creates the solution that has been used by the business users. Now, based on the business functional requirement, there are technical architects or solution architect who understand business requirements, translate them to technical solution by understanding the risk, realizing the NFRs, that is non-functional requirements like RPO, RTO, and also understanding the business values and developing the solution when they are building it in cloud in a cloud native way. That is the core responsibility of solution architect. And when they are building this type of solution, they used to make sure the solution design is much more reliable, secure, performance oriented, as well as cost effective. Based on these pillars, generally solution architect prepare the solutions. And most of the cloud has their own framework based on which they have their services which has been implemented. Once the solution has been designed by the solution architect, then there are application team who used to develop that. But these days, we generally recommend the solution architect to do the application development as well, so that they can really understand what exactly are what are all different impacts which are getting delivered by the application. And that is where solution architect plays a role to guide the solution architect in an efficient way, so that the cloud or the capabilities of the cloud which has been provided by the cloud provider should be efficiently used. The cloud providers has their well-architected framework. In case of Azure, Azure has well-architected framework. So that is the theme behind a well-architected framework, which is nothing but a set of guidelines to deliver the value for the solution architect to follow or design an effective solution. So what is Azure Well-Architected Framework? It is nothing but a set of guidelines to improve the quality of design and workloads, and also to deliver best business value with the efficient usage of Azure Cloud. So that is the theme behind Azure Well-Architected Framework. Let's try to understand what are all different pillars of Azure Well-Architected Framework. One is reliable, second is security, third is cost optimization, fourth is operational excellence, and fifth is performance efficiency. Let's try to understand reliability. The reliability, if we try to understand the reliability, it is nothing but the ability of system to recover from failures and also continue to function as is. We can think about a simple scenario. You have a web application which is interacting with a database. Okay, and due to some XYZ reason, your web application is getting down, or your database is getting down, or your database has been impacted due to some earthquake or some natural calamity. Then how can you make sure your application will keep performing in the same way although it has a regional failure? So in that case, the architect has to design the solution in such a way that in case of regional failure also, your application should be reliable enough or resilient enough to come back to its original state, although it has some disaster which has happened to the data center. So that is what we call it as reliability. So each services has their reliable engineering. That means they have geo-redundant capabilities, they have zone redundant capabilities, they have region redundant capabilities. So you have, when the designer is designing it, he has to make sure the reliability has been taken care of based on the NFRs, based on the non-functional requirements. Second, security. Security, when you are using public cloud, this is the most strongest and strengthened pillar of Azure Well-Architected Framework. When we are talking about security, that means it is protecting both your application as well as data from threats. Because when you are using public cloud, you need to be much more careful that it should not be accessed by anyone else. There are a lot of solutions with respect to network security, with respect to application security, which has been provided by public cloud. There are native solution also which has been provided by public cloud, like to monitor your activities with throughout your cloud environment, as well as management group or subscriptions or resource groups. And also to connectivity to your PaaS capabilities, like service endpoint, private link endpoint, Azure firewalls, NSPs. So there are a lot of solutions. Defender for the patching capabilities. There are a lot of things which have been provided. So while you are choosing the security, or you are designing the security posture of your solution, you need to make sure you are optimized enough, cost optimized enough, so that, or reliable enough to make your solution much more effective. So that is where the security is coming to picture. Then the third point, cost optimization. So as the values comes with a cost. So when the value is much more higher, that means when you are thinking about old on-premise system, to get a virtual machine or to get a server generally takes around months of time. But right now with public cloud, you can get your server or your virtual machine in a fastest way, right? So that is the value which is coming to you. And when the value is coming, the cost is also coming with it. So you need to be much more careful about the cost. When you are using a virtual machine, or you are using an app service or Kubernetes, make sure you use the least configuration value, so that with which you can utilize or you can realize your NFRs. Like you want to host a simple Java based Spring application, which is not being used by many users, which is very partially used. So you can think about serverless capabilities, okay, so that you will pay for users. So this type of thought process needs to be there with all the solution architects when they are using or developing their solutions in a cost optimized way, so that the less as money that you have to pay to this cloud vendor, so that you can utilize the best out of it. Then the operational excellence. Operational excellence is also another one of the major factor, I can say, where you operations process that keep a system running in production. That means once you are done with your production go live, then there is the operational process which needs to be taken care during to maintain the production life cycle, and that has to be chosen, or needs to be designed in an efficient way. That is what we call it as operational excellence. And the fifth one is the performance efficiency, the ability of a system to adapt and change in load. You can think about a Black Friday scenario. You have developed a retail application, and during the Black Friday you are expecting that there is a drastic number of change in request which is expected to be delivered or to be hit in your application. Then your application should be designed in such a way that it should be able to cater that particular number of requests during that day, and that is we call it as performance efficiency. So these are all pillars of well-architected framework. We are definitely going to talk about all these pillars in successive videos, where we will try to realize as much as information regarding all these pillars, so that you understand how to take care of all these pillars when you are developing or designing your solution in an efficient way. So yeah, that's the introduction call or introduction video to this well-architected framework. I got all this information from Microsoft Azure well-architected framework link. I have shared this link in the video of this the description of this video. If you like the video, then don't forget to like and share, and also share your comments if you want some improvement. Thanks a lot.